had a lot of questions about what kind of metallic clays to buy in the Pardo brand. Because people are a little bit confused because of the fact that Pardo has metallics both in the jewelry line and in the mica clays line. And I've been asked, is there any difference between the two? Should I get the jewelry one? Should I get the mica clay one? Well, it all depends on what you want to do. Um, what I can tell you, number one, it's a matter of texture and consistency. The jewelry line is a little bit softer than the mica clays line, and it can, excuse me, it can go too much thinner um, um, manipulations. And they are both beautiful. They both have very small mica particles, and they are both very rich in mica particles. But number one, if you want to work on a bezel that has a lot of exceptionally fine detail, then choose a metallic in the jewelry line. Number two, the other big difference is when it comes to the mica shift. Of course, they both mica shift. It will not be as flashy as Primo. And if you watched my comparison between Primo versus Pardo versus Cernit, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. But nevertheless, the mica shift is beautiful. It is more delicate and more subdued, but nevertheless it is beautiful. But the one in the jewelry line is fairly even, while the one in the mica shift line, I presume it's because it has the mica shift probably has a little bit more translucent, but it gives you, mm, for one, it's not the same. It changes depending on the angle and side you're looking at it, and also it has a more glassy effect. If you want, it gives you more illusion of depth, and I'll show you that in a minute. um, so if you're looking for a mica shift that is even all over the place, go for jewelry. If you're looking for a more subtle and more refined effect, go for the mica clays. um, and then unfortunately I don't have all the colors in the jewelry line because Polyclay Plate didn't have them. I'll probably order them from overseas if they still don't supplement us. And by the way, don't forget to go and sign the Pardo petition. Maybe they'll take pity of us and bring us more choices. But so in the jewelry line, I do not have gold and I do not have bronze. I only have the platinums, the silver, the copper, and the ancient gold. While in the mica clays, I have all the mica clays that are in the line, and that is platinum, gold, silver, bronze, and copper. One thing that has to be noticed, in Pardo, it's pretty much backwards than Primo, as this is the copper, and you can see it's very copperish, and this is the bronze. Sorry, this is the bronze. So there is a big difference. They are the bronze is more bronzish than in Primo, and the copper is more copperish. Now let's do a little close-up, and I will be able to show you exactly what I mean by what I told you before, to show you exactly in detail in a very, very close-up. Okay, let's take the silver first. So on my left is the jewelry, on my right is the mica line. As you can see, it's not a big, doesn't look like there's a big difference, but I'm going to move them around one by one and you will see what I was talking about. So on the jewelry, you see it's fairly even. As you move it, it doesn't really change. at all. While in the mica line, you will see how the impression of depth changes with the angle. A fairly strong change. And when it comes to texture, again, left is the jewelry, right is the mica. Even if the mica clay seems a little bit more even, when you are using it for making bezels and stuff, the jewelry line will give you more the feeling of real silver. And again, they buff, they sand and they buff beautifully. So you will not really need any kind of enhancer. You might want to antique it, but you will not need enhancer. And see the mica line also buffs gorgeous, but you can see the difference. So it's pretty much up to you what you choose and what you want. There is also a very mild difference in color. As you can see, this one is a little bit more grayish bluish, and this one is a little bit more whitish goldish if you want. Let's take the platinum, and again, because of the platinum, and as I said in my that comparison I made, the platinum mica shift in Pardo is very subtle because the platinum is very white compared to the Primo one that is kind of silverish. And you can see that the jewelry one is whiter than the mica clay line one. And the jewelry one almost has, and you'll see in the textured piece, almost has mother of pearl. You would think that I used mother of pearl here. No, I used the platinum. But again, you see that it is fairly even, no matter of the angle I am putting it through, while the mica one changes depth. From some angles it almost completely disappears, and then as you move it, it's like it's under a glass, or it's got a layer of glass on top of it. Now let's get the copper. And here there is quite a big difference between the jewelry line and the mica line, because there is a difference in color. The mica line copper is a little bit more yellowish, and the jewelry line copper is a little bit redder. So again, see on the yeah, I might even put it with the mica shift up. On the mica line, you would almost say that it's nothing there because of that effect that I told you about. So again, if I move the jewelry line one around, it's fairly even. Oops, sorry. It's fairly even, it doesn't change much, it has a beautiful, delicate mica shift. Well, look what happens. I think that this is one of the best examples. Look what happens on the mica one. Again, it has this very glass-like effect. And this is why so much better effects can be obtained with Pardo, even if it's not as flashy as the Primo metallics. But you see how the design kind of disappears from one angle and it reappears from a different angle. And now the ones that I do not have correspondence are the ancient gold in the jewelry line, which looks to me very much like German silver, honestly. And then the bronze in the mica clays line, and again it's the same glass-like effect that appears and disappears as you move the piece. and the gold that you already have seen in that other and you can see it's the same type of glassy effect that appears and disappears. And the one that is very strongly in the texture, very strongly different, is the platinum, as I said, because it looks almost like it's mother of pearlish, and as I said, this is not the mother of pearl, this is the platinum in the jewelry line, but it looks almost mother of pearlish, and again it buffs beautifully, while the mica clay line looks almost ivoryish, if you want, and it still sands and buffs beautifully. But let's already showed you the silver in several projects, and you've seen how what a beautiful job it does. But let's get the copper in texture comparison. And again, the copper doesn't really need any kind of enhancer, it only needs antiquing. And I will do very soon some metallic faux metal with Pardo, very soon. The ones that I don't have correspondence are the ancient gold, that again just needs antiquing, doesn't really need enhancer, and the bronze, and of course the gold. But yeah, as you can get yourself you can get an idea on what the difference is. And as I said, if you want a stronger and more subtle 3D effect, glassy effect, mica shift, you go for the mica clays. If you want a more even one, you go for the jewelry clays. If you want a more mother of pearly one, you'll go for the jewelry platinum. If you want a more ivory and even metallic one, you will go for the platinum. And when I will make the faux metal tutorial with Pardo, I will also give you various color recipes in order to obtain, like a real platinum-like color, because of course this is not platinum color. And we'll try even do some, anodized metal and things. And yes, to answer another question, because as I have started to make a full information sheet, if you go on my website, there's a full information sheet I started on the colors and properties of the Pardo jewelry line, different colors, because some of them are pearlescent, some of them are not, some of them have a mild pearlescence, and I'm not talking about the ones with glitter even. And then some of them have a mild translucence, while some of them are fully opaque. And I got a few questions if you can do a mica shift with the other other jewelry clay colors that do have pearlescence. And yes, you can, and they are beautiful, and I will make a project hopefully soon. I keep saying that I'm gonna remember that I am all constrained by fatigue and time, because I cannot work as much as other people, but I am bringing them. So this is not in lieu of the for rhodochrosite, but if you watch my page, you know I am a little bit late, but I thought that this will answer quite a bit of questions and it will be helpful for you. Happy claying!